Over the course of the 2017 and 2018 seasons, UMHB and Trinity faced off twice in the NCAA tournament here at Paul McGinley Field. Fresh off winning a program first ASC title, the 2017 Crusaders had nothing to lose in the round of 32, shocking Trinity 3-2 and moving to a program best Sweet 16 finish. The following year, the Tigers knew they'd be fools to underestimate the newly crowned back-to-back conference-winning Crew, and when they did battle again in the national tournament, Trinity exacted their revenge with a crushing 3-0 victory. Now, the stories of those games have been passed down to what is largely a new generation of Crusaders and Tigers, and tonight we'll get another look at one of the premier teams of the ASC facing off against your Trinity Tigers right here in San Antonio. My name is Ryan Figert, and you're watching non-conference soccer action here early on in the season on the Tiger Network. Before we get to kickoff, we'll start with the UMHB Crew starting 11. It'll be number 1, Dalton Lloyd, the junior goalkeeper, in between the sticks. In the back line, Sam Wooding replaces the injured Hunter Shanks, who misses the first game this season for the transfer from Marshall. Moving on, we've got Ethan Buchanan, Sawyer Young, and Nick Villanueva, who's one of the 2 team captains for the Crew this season, the senior midfielder from Austin, Texas. All-time program leading goal scorer, number 14, Patrick Roach. Fifth-year senior, number 17, Seth Neveloff. Number 20, Raymond Kennedy. Number 23, Price Peden. 26, Brody Conley. And the other team captain, number 36, Harper Rowland. And on the Trinity side, plenty of changes, a few of them enforced for Coach Paul McGinley, as he has to make a change in between the sticks for the first time this year. Getting his first Trinity start, it's number 0, Austin Willman. Back 4 of Jesus Velos, John Connor Rule, and Brady Johnston, as well as Jacob Galan, who returns to the side at right back. Midfield 3 of Peter Blanc, Michael Pham, and Joseph Curry. And a front 3 of Fraser Burns, Hunter Kane, who makes his first Trinity start, and this season's star striker, Michael Meese. One final huddle for Trinity being broken up by the referee's whistle. Our official for today is Masood Rasti, a familiar face for college games here at Paul McGinley Field. As the Crew maybe get some nervousness out with touches here before the game starts. The only player who played in those 2017 and 2018 NCAA tournament games was Seth Neveloff, who will start today for UMHB wearing the number 17. He's a 5th-year senior out of Wiley. One to watch as he's named the co-offensive player of the week for the ASC coming into this game. Trinity have their own conference player of the week leading the line in Michael Meese. And we are underway, which should be an enthralling matchup between 2 of Texas' finest teams this season at the Division III level. Gallant getting an early touch here as he was questionable due to injury coming into this game. He's managed to make the fitness requirement to start. As the throw-in comes over his head here, Johnston putting the pressure on Roach on the far side. No one able to really get a foot on it here in the opening 30 seconds or so. Eventually launched into the box by Rowland. It was Price Peden who was able to get ahead to it, but wide of the goal. Nothing to do for Austin Willman, the junior, who comes in today for the injured Juan Carlos Vidalis, missing his first game over the last 2 seasons. Touch from Meese to lay it for Blanc. Wide now for Burns, playing from the right today. Fraser Burns comes in field, sees the run of Joe Curry. It's back now with the Scottish midfielder. Pass intended for Hunter Kane, cut out and sent forward. The 2 number 14s doing battle, just about on the halfway line. That time Roach was able to knock it down. Trinity control possession. Rule into the feet of Meese. Pham around the corner for Gallant. Gallant's found some space here coming forward from right back. He takes a heavy touch. And Sam Wooding comes across to put it into touch on the far side. Wooding making his first start of the season. In for the injured Hunter Shanks, as I mentioned. Going through the lineup. Throw in to the feet of Joe Curry. Pham back to Curry. Blanc makes a darting run out of midfield. Curry drops it off for J.C. Rule, who now brings it forward himself. Rule goes to his right for Hunter Kane. Kane already 2 goals and 2 assists in his young Trinity career. Getting his first start today as the Tigers miss Shin Aji through injury. Also hope to get Connor Jones back on the wing soon. He's been working his way back from a preseason ankle injury. Burns coming in field. He's found the ball. He's got Kane to his left. He drops it off for the first year out of Katy, Texas. Curry looking to turn. Velos now down the line for Burns. Burns whips it in. Straight into the arms of Dalton Lloyd. It's a good sign for Trinity. Getting Fraser Burns involved has always led to good things. Saw that particularly last year when he was first team all-conference and put up career-high numbers for goals and assists. As Roach puts way too much behind that first involvement now for Willman. J.C. Rule receives it with his head up, doesn't see a run that he likes, and goes back to Brady Johnson, who played in both 2017 and 2018's NCAA tournament face-offs with the Crew. As Hunter Kane doesn't give up on this, he's battling with Nick Villanueva, who now puts it down the line for Sawyer Young. Young can't connect with his midfield partner, and it's now at the feet of Joe Curry. Curry wanted to flick it in behind for Meese, who lost his footing. But the Tigers maintain possession at the halfway line with J.C. Rule. Velos for Burns, who's coming inside. Looking to pick up the ball in between the midfield and the forward. That is Michael Meese. And with the way that Galan has shown he can get forward from right back, width may not be a concern for Coach McGinley, as Meese takes a heavy touch, putting it out into the traveling Crew faithful who've made their way down in droves. They just about equal the Trinity fans in number at the moment. As the flag stays down, and now Roach brings it forward on the left. Here's Buchanan, and first save of the game for Willman. As Michael Pham's in conversation with the referee, maybe about offside, maybe about something else, but an early warning sign for the home team. As Ethan Buchanan was looking for his first goal of the season. Would have been a huge one to get the Crew off to a flying start here in San Antonio. Tipped over the top by Austin Willman, who got the vote of confidence. I talked to Juan Carlos Fidelis, the usual Trinity #1, about Willman, and he described him as a solid keeper who's comfortable with the ball at his feet, and he expects good things from the English netminder today, as Blanc hooks that one clear from the corner, which is taken by Roland. Peden lays this off for Sawyer Young, who just puts a foot through it to avoid any potential Trinity counterattack. Roland helps it on towards Villanueva, and now Neville off. Has it taken away by Hunter Kane. It takes the throw in before the referee signals that it's actually a Crew ball. And now Villanueva across the take. It's consistently been a staple in the postseason awards for the Crew. 2018 second team, 2019 first team all-region, and then back to the first team all-conference award in the abbreviated 2020 campaign for the senior out of Austin. Again, takes the throw here. Last touch off the Crew. Throw in, taken into the chest of Meese. Curry blocks the clearance, and Trinity will step their line up. Trinity coming into this game 4-0, including a statement win last Sunday against another top ASC team in the University of Texas Dallas, where the Tigers played a man short for just about 70 minutes as Whitwell was sent off in the early part of that match. Referee sees nothing wrong with what's going on the far side. Galan brings it clear. Blanc's got a man on his back. He was able to block the cross-field ball that was intended for Kane. And UMHB settle it down. Forward now for Buchanan. Pham goes to ground and also wins the throw. The Crew, on the other hand, coming to this game 2-2, but their 2 losses came on a trip to Pennsylvania to face off against top-ranked opponents. They dropped a game to number 9 Messiah, perennial national championship contenders, and that one was 4 minutes away from going down as a draw. As Villanueva puts this one ahead of Price Peden, beats Kane to the ball, and now puts it in behind for Neveloff to chase. Rules there first. He drops it off to the goalkeeper, Willman. And the midfield for Blanc, who's allowed to turn. Curry for Burns, who's found plenty of room now as he brings it into the center circle. Looks for the pass intended for Meese. Buchanan was back on his defensive duties. Villanueva picks it up in the right back space, where he's been finding possession so far. Ahead now for Sawyer Young, who swings one in towards Roach. And Galan got to that first. Neveloff with full body contact against Trinity's senior captain. So they occurred 2-2, losses to Franklin Marshall, who are number 2 in the country, and Messiah, who are number 9. Trinity 4-0 against some solid West Region opponents, but nothing of that caliber so far this season. Rule just across the halfway line. Pham put under pressure by Neveloff and skipped past the challenge, but the referee's whistle comes nonetheless. Johnston gets it back to Rule. 10 minutes gone here. Trinity, no real chances so far. UMHB went the closest with a shot from Buchanan, tipped over by Willman. And the Tigers have had the majority of possession here on their home field. The last 3 matchups between these two teams have all taken place here at Paul McGinley Field. Trinity taking 2 of the 3. And as I've already mentioned, 2 of those coming on the biggest stage, the NCAA tournament, round of 32. Goal kick helped on. Now back at the feet of Michael Meese. Defender's got a fistful of his jersey, but he continues on here and eventually takes contact from behind from Raymond Kennedy. It'll be a free kick in a dangerous position for the Tigers. Brady Johnson and John Connor Rule come up from the back. It may even be in shooting range. We'll see what Burns has in mind. He usually prefers to send a service into the box rather than a shot. So far, it's 1 shot on target apiece for these two teams with 11 minutes gone. A golden opportunity for Trinity to open the scoring. This free kick taken about 25, 28 yards from goal. And it is Burns. He goes under the wall for Kane, who tracks it down, but swings a right foot at it and sends it into the trees with his second touch. Definitely something off the training ground there for Coach McGinley and the Tigers. Lloyd sends the crew up the field. Gets much more behind this goal kick. It clears the halfway lines, helped on by Buchanan. Now launched forward for Roach. John Connor Rule puts his head on it. It's now with Jacob Gallant. He's towing the touchline here. Drops it off now for Johnston. And Blanc sends it forward for Mies. Mies has Wooding on his back. He can't hold it up, and now UMHB have a free kick. Trinity bench not best pleased about the decision from the official. This will be a first real opportunity for some of the Crew defenders to get up into the box and look to threaten. Wooding does come forward now. He's a late runner towards the back post. It's whipped in and near the senior center back from Wiley. But just out of his reach. Trinity goal kick coming. J.C. Rule picks up the ball with space ahead of him. Finds the feet of Curry. Back to Rule, now down the line for Mies, but pass just runs out of turf and heads into the UMHB bench. Villanueva, plenty behind that throw. Roach receives it. And it's back to Villanueva, who hits a big switch out to the far side for Buchanan. Buchanan able to get past Galan on this occasion. Not easy to do as he puts it in behind that time. Too strong for Neveloff, who's blessed with some real pace. I've played with him in the past, I know. But he didn't get a chance to show it there as the pass was overhit. Both teams really fluid in the attack at the moment, as the wingers not afraid to interchange to try and find space. Particularly, we see it with Burns for Trinity, Neveloff for UMHB. It's a great layoff there from Mies. Blanc sprays it wide for Kane. Kane got past Villanueva, but and ran into Neveloff. Ball back with Trinity. Back with Hunter Kane. Kane looks to hit the switch. Burns more interested in the second ball than the first as he watches Harper Rowland head it forward. Now Buchanan. It's been a handful early on for Trinity's captain, Jacob Galan. Here goes Buchanan. 3 in the area now for the Crew. Johnson across to come help deal with it. And Burns picks it up, looking to start the counterattack. Ball too far ahead of Joe Curry, but back at the feet of Trinity's Scottish midfielder. Who this time does connect with Joe Curry. Gets it back from Blanc. It's chased all the way back to Jacob Galan. A couple of local San Antonio products. Joe Curry, Jacob Galan. Here's another one, John Connor Rule. Representing the 210 in Trinity's lineup today. Rule given all kinds of time here as he receives it back from Curry. Into the feet of Mies, who wanted to lay it off for Pham. His pass was off the mark. And Neveloff thought he surely should have had a free kick there, as he protests first to the center official and then the linesman. Trinity make haste and coming forward down the right. Pass under hit for Pham. And now it's Johnston who brings it out of the Trinity back line. Johnston, pass 2, cuts it wide now for Burns. 3 in the area for him to aim at. And Villanueva got the last touch. Putting it out for a corner. That all started with the supposed foul. Should have been called just about at the halfway line. And it leads to a Trinity corner. They won't mind if they can find this game's opening goal from the set piece. This one into the danger area. Johnston closest to it in a white jersey. Blanc gets a hold of it from the top of the box, but his shot is blocked. Battling now with Wooding. Able to block the clearance, and Villanueva turns away from Kane. Peeting, finding himself there at right back, where he has played a majority of his college minutes. As of late, moved into a right wing position. And got one of the Crew's 3 goals last time out against the University of St. Thomas. as the Celts were beaten 3-1 on the day. Meese battling here with Raymond Kennedy. And this time, Michael Meese is whistled for a foul. UMHB wanted the advantage. The official more interested in the discussion with Michael Meese. At this point, I think teams will be alert to the danger that Michael Meese possesses, as he was an unknown quantity arriving on campus this year. Transfer from William and Mary. Gets a touch there ahead of Sawyer Young. Meese now 4 goals and 2 assists in just 4 games. He scored in all kinds of ways, but he's looked really dangerous on the counterattack as well as adept in the build-up, holding up play for his teammates. Velos brings it infield. Now here's Burns. Looks to attack that same space. He slipped it in front of Joe Curry. Can't connect with Michael Meese, and he's left limping away from the challenge. Now Neveloff, too quick for Blanc. But the flag goes up as Roach had left early. Roach going to ask a lot of physical questions of the 2 center backs for Trinity. He's the program's leading goal scorer with 25. He set that mark on the opening day this season, a 4-0 win over Trinity's SCACA rival, TLU. Golan takes the throw for Trinity into the chest of Michael Meese, who's now chased to the corner by Wooding. Meese gets a cross in on his left foot. Harper Rowland launches it down the field. And Johnson able to toe the line, keep that in play. Now he's past another defender in Buchanan. Sends a step over, and the ball through for Kane. Now Burns onto his left foot, towards the back post, no one home. In white and maroon. Seen some good darting runs from Brady Johnston from the back line into midfield, where he's played at times in his Trinity career. May have actually been playing there in the previous face-offs with the crew. Goal kick taken by Lloyd. Header won by Pham. And Kane really late there. And he's going to go into the book. Villanueva certainly agrees with the referee's assessment on that occasion. Kane is certainly a very energetic defender, and it's led to a couple of fouls early on, 4 games into his Trinity career. It's also led to a couple great goals. It all comes in one package with Hunter Kane. Now Harper Rowland comes across to take it, raises both hands. Whips it in. Intended for Neveloff, who's able to get a touch, directing it towards Villanueva. And now Trinity lead the counter charge. Meese beaten to it by Kennedy. It's now with Jacob Golan on the far side. Kane out to Meese. Plenty in the attack now for Trinity as Meese rolls the ball across. It won't reach Fraser Burns. Instead, 2 of the crew go the other way. Neveloff and Roach. That time Blanc gets in the way. Stops the counterattack for the moment. Villanueva into midfield for Young. Looks like Neveloff, Young, and Brody Conley, the junior midfielder from Cyprus, make up the midfield 3 for Coach Bankhead and the crew. Thought maybe Villanueva would be a part of that trio. Looks like he's shifted out to right back this season. As Neveloff tries to track it down, sends it down the line for Buchanan. Can't keep it in play. As the crowd continues to grow, particularly on the left side of your screen with UMHB fans. Here's Curry. Blanc looks to hit the big switch that he's made his trademark this season. Kane brings it down with a beautiful first touch. Finds Veloz, who goes ahead of him. Dropped off again for Hunter Kane. Here's Jesus Veloz. Plenty of whip on that cross. It's a good ball towards the back post. Defended well by the crew. And Neveloff has now found some space. Pham matching him stride for stride at the moment. And Pham able to come away with the ball. Great tackle by Trinity's number 10 and captain's armband wearer, Michael Pham. Both of those over the past few seasons. Been worn by Quentin Vanderlee, now of SMU. Here's Kane, all kinds of room as he drives at the crew back line, eventually running into Sam Wooding. The home team keep possession. Loose pass from Veloz sends Rule chasing back towards his own goal. There's space now for Johnston. To once again bring it forward. Johnston wide for Burns, who's there first. Two to his left as he puts it in behind for Meese. Back to Fraser Burns. What a goal from Trinity. Terrific combination between the Scottish senior and the man of the moment, Michael Meese. And Trinity lead. Burns was able to control it there ahead of Rowland. Looked ahead. Found Meese, who gave it back to him on the 1-2. And Burns was able to finish from close range for his second goal of the season. And yet another assist for the Virginia native Michael Meese, now up to 3 this season. Set back for the crew who make their first change in the wake of the goal. It's Ethan DeCarrett on for Price Peden. DeCarrett scored in his collegiate debut for the crew. That game against TOU. We'll see what he can bring to the attack now as Trinity lead 1-0. Quarter of the way gone in this game. Sent down the line for Meese, who's wrong side of the back line. He needs help. At the moment, it's Burns who's fighting to get into the box. Meese looking to maybe take it alone. And he's left on the turf as the crew control possession. Lloyd out to DeCarrett. His first touch isn't a good one. It's out for a throw for the Tigers, who are set to make 2 changes of their own. Make it 3 and even 4. As it's now Jack Downs, Jack Eubank, Michael Somerville, and Will Powell all coming off the Trinity bench.
Will Powell in for Trinity.
Shake up in the attack here as Meese, Kane, Curry, and Burns are all replaced. Looks like Jack Eubank will play further forward than we're used to seeing him as a left midfielder, with Somerville leading the line and Will Powell off the right. Here's Eubank, first touch, finds Downs, who's now in the penalty area. He's got a defender on his back. Jack Downs usually excels in tight spaces. That time can't win a corner. Goal kick coming for the crew. Dalton Lloyd takes his time waiting for the team to get up the field. Blanc gets ahead to it, falls at the feet of the substitute, Ethan DeCarrett. Downs, defender on his back, drops it off for Eubank. Somerville in there battling. Villanueva dribbles it clear for the Crew. Neveloff can't get it back to the senior, and Pham turns past both of them with a lovely piece of skill. There's space now for Jack Downs. Jack Eubank goes on the overlap. Downs continues his run across, eventually laying it off for Trinity's Flying Dutchman, Peter Blanc. Downs continues to cause problems. That one nearly ending up at the feet of Michael Somerville. That's out for a Trinity throw in front of the Crew bench. A few other substitutes continue to get warm. Good work from Velos to avoid the pressure here. Now he brings it onto his favored right foot. Wants to get it back from Somerville, and he does after DeCarrot misses his kick. Now Pham. Here's Rule. Sees a big gap in which Michael Somerville was able to find the ball. Now Will Powell gets to the inline, fires one across. Way too much on it that time for the first-year winger. Will Powell from Bexley, Kent in England.
In for the Crew, number 74, Bodie Bleemaster.
As Bodie Bleemaster will now lead the line for Patrick Roach, who didn't have a ton of joy going at the Trinity goal. He may have a few inches on the likes of Brady Johnson, but as we saw in the win over UTD last week, Johnson so comfortable in the air, winning almost everything that comes his way as Galan comes forward from right back. And Powell tracks down a under-hit clearance. Laid off for Rule. Rule now allowed to come all the way into the attack. Wide for Eubank, who's an excellent crosser of the ball on his left foot. But J.C. Rules continued the run off the outside of his right foot. The low cross is repelled, and now Trinity are man light at the back if the Crew can go quickly. Neveloff. Forward for Bleemaster. Velos in control of the situation as the Crew make 3 more changes. Diego Valadez.
In for the Crew, number
Patrick
37,
Pither.
Anson Absher, number 5.
And Anson Absher, the 3 substitutes coming off the Crew bench with 16 and a half remaining here in the first half.
13, Kyle Davis.
And Trinity will respond with 1 change of their own. Kyle Davis goes into midfield with Blanc and Downs. First touch from Pither, goes straight out of play into the Tiger bench. Velos takes the throw in back. Eubank wants to help it on, only as far as Villanueva. All the way back to Dalton Lloyd in the UMHB goal. Wooding goes long. That one won't reach Absher. And now it's Trinity who make their way up the right side. Kyle Davis, his first involvement as he gets it back wide for Will Powell. Powell able to swing the cross in. Wooding blocks and then clears. Absher lays it off for Roland. Roland just pokes it for Valadez, who gets a comfortable first touch of the game since coming off the bench. Neveloff wants to lift it in behind for Pither, but it's blocked out for a Crew throw. Taken quickly. Bleemaster all the way back to Wooding. Crew can't keep possession in midfield. It's back now with Blanc. As Powell comes short off the right wing. His fellow Englishman Jack Downs back off for Blanc. Eubank left early, and the flag goes up. Neveloff just struggling to connect with the right back Villanueva. Not the first time he's given it away. Two of the more experienced players for Coach Bankhead and the crew. Roland launches it down the field. Golan meets it with his head. Somerville heads it down for Powell. Powell to the edge of the area for Davis, who takes it on the outside of the right foot. And it was bending in the right direction. Didn't quite find its way back on frame. A lot of players out there at the moment for Trinity getting a look in some different positions than we're used to seeing them. Eubank playing as a winger rather than a fullback. Blanc starting this game in midfield, where he's been primarily a center back since he returned to the program last season. Johnson looking to go direct for Somerville. He goes all the way through for Dalton Lloyd. Coach Bankhead currently furious with his team for what he perceives as a lack of effort, challenging for headers at the moment. As Johnson was first to the ball but misjudged it. And it's wide now with Pither, who's isolated with Velos. Velos gets a foot across, does excellently well. So we know he's really strong in 1v1 situations, and he's maybe started the Trinity counterattack as well. Although that's put to an end by Valdez. Villanueva gets there before it runs out of play. Willman can't do the same. It's out for a corner. Five shots, 2 on target for Trinity so far, 1 in the back of the net, provided by Michael Meese, finished by Fraser Burns. Just 1 shot so far for the crew. That came from Ethan Buchanan early on, just about 5 minutes into this game. As Roland comes across, he'll send an in-swinging service to the penalty area. Willman, not convincing coming off his line that time. The Trinity defense comes to his aid, and Eubank launches it down the field for Downs to chase. Pither was trying to shield it out of play, but ended up getting a touch, and that'll allow Trinity to make 3 changes. Philip Dueñas, Jake Simon, and Einar Gunnlaugsson all into the game for the first time. Gunnlaugsson really impressing in that UTD game, where Trinity had to play without Jacob Golan, who was back fit enough to start today and go 35 minutes here in the first half. They look like they found a capable backup in the Icelandic right back. Front 3 now, Powell, Somerville, and Dueñas off the left. Johnston brings it across half field. Defender on his back. Drawing the contact. And winning the foul from Bodie Bleemaster. This free kick will be sent in with 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Trinity, the first half advantage provided by Fraser Burns. Miscommunication here as Johnson at first thought he was going to take it. Instead, he's sent into the box, the aerial threat that he is. And Davis will raise the right hand and send it in. Way too much behind it for the senior midfielder. And even though he didn't mean it, I think it'll go down as a shot off target. Jake Gilbert and Ramiro Moreno into the game. Neveloff comes to the bench. Last touch off the crew. Trinity throw coming. 5 yards into the UMHB half. Will Powell receives it from the throw. And runs out of room as he thought he kept it in play. It's been fairly comfortable so far for Austin Willman in the Trinity goal. He's making his first start, and he's set to triple his all-time minutes total in a Trinity uniform if he goes the full distance today, in lieu of the injured Juan Carlos Vidalis. Just had the one save to make, which he made well. Saw somewhat of a shaky moment a couple minutes ago from the corner kick. He's got the ball back at his feet here. Played forward for Rule. Rule's got plenty of grass ahead of him. Finds Dueñez, turns, picks out Jack Downs. Rule goes again, forward from the back. Dueñez leaves it for Downs, back to JC Rule. And behind now for Somerville. Somerville gets it across, and the clearance is sliced. Still not cleared as Powell helps it on towards Downs. Downs back on it. A couple of step overs, a drop of the shoulder. He goes the other way. Finding the feet of Dueñez. Trinity controlling the ball right now. Looking to create something from it as Eubanks puts his defender on the ground. And Simon switches the play with Davis. Here's Simon now. May think about a shot from here as the defender closes him down from behind. Just keep play ticking along. Now it's Eubank. Great shape on the ball towards Powell at the back post. Downs brings it out of the sky, but the flag's up against Will Powell. Chance nearly presenting itself for Jack Downs. Wooding sends the clearance down the field, controlled by Eubank and Trinity. Some hand fighting near the halfway line, and Absher's called for the foul against Dueñez. Dueñez finds all kinds of space in midfield. Powell now looking to turn. Somerville comes across. And the contact from behind draws the referee's whistle. We're heading to the spot. The clever movement of Dueñez. The run from Powell. And then the work from Somerville to actually win the foul is going to present Jack Downs with a chance here from the penalty spot to get his second goal of the season. Downs 1 for 1 from 12 yards already this year. He stares down Dalton Lloyd, steps up, and places it beyond the goalkeeper. It was diving to his left, too much power on it for Jack Downs, and Trinity double their advantage here in the first half. Lloyd certainly had a good read on it and got down to his left. Downs hit it with enough pace. The goalkeeper couldn't keep it out. And on the penalty kick drawn by Michael Somerville, Jack Downs puts Trinity ahead by 2. Anson Absher dealing with some bleeding in his mouth. And I think he may have to be replaced here for the final 6 minutes. Referee giving the crew time to sort this out. As Absher comes back in. And Ryan Traves comes in for the first time as well.
Ryan Travis in for the crew.
Villanueva presents it to Phil Dueñez, who can't keep it in play. Last touch off Trinity. Crusader to throw coming as they look to respond here. Last time they won here at Paul McGinley Field, it was by a score of 3-2. That's what they need now to avoid falling below 500 on the season, albeit against some of the nation's top opposition. Trinity coming into this game ranked number 12 after previously being unranked in the preseason polls. Villanueva swings a left foot at it, and Davis then swings a left foot at it, slicing it behind for a Crew corner. Rowland across the take, as Jack Down's the only one high for Trinity. Everyone else back defending. And Willman up to claim from the corner, drawing the applause from the Tiger bench. Willman quickly rolls it out for Powell. In the midfield for Davis, who's got all kinds of time once he turns. And launches it forward for Gunnlaugson. Pass sails over his head. And into the UMHB faithful, who will now be a bit more discouraged with their team behind by 2. And yet to really threaten a Trinity goal in a meaningful way, at least since the opening 5 minutes. Willman underhits that. Rule nearly loses his footing, able to recover just in time. Maybe a product of that new relationship building between the goalkeeper and center back. Dueñez able to turn and run into midfield, where he's already found all kinds of space a couple of times now in this game. Drop of the shoulder, goes to his left for Downs. Downs into the feet of Somerville. Laid off now for Simon. Simon ahead for Phil Dueñez. Back at the feet of Trinity's number 7. Now Johnson will have a pop from distance. Got plenty behind it. Couldn't keep it on target. Scored against UMHB in the NCAA tournament as a first-year player. He's now got a little bit more experience, and he was looking to do it in a spectacular way this time, and is off the mark. Powell able to win the header for Trinity from the Crew goal kick. Somerville gives chase here. He's battling with Wooding. He's forced to just put it out for a throw. UMHB very much on the back foot here to close out the first half. And if Trinity can add a third in these final 3 minutes, that may seal the result. It would certainly make it feel a lot more insurmountable for the Crew. Powell battling with Rowland in the corner. Last touch off Will Powell. And Rowland will now pick the ball up and launch it down the field. Second team All-ASC as a left back for the Crew last season. He's one of a few key contributors this year, have worked their way from the UMHB reserve teams. As Dueñez will have a pop from distance. Had the power, had a great shape on the shot. Just couldn't quite bend back inside the far post. As I was mentioning, UMHB utilizing sort of junior varsity or reserve team, bringing through players that maybe aren't immediately ready to contribute like Nick Villanueva was as a first year, and forming them into key contributors, all conference players even, in the case of Rowland, who's fouled here by Brady Johnston. Chance now for the Crew with the 1 minute call, just seconds away. to find a goal to get back into this game before the break.
1 minute, 1 minute.
It's Dalton Lloyd, the goalkeeper, who will take. Raises both hands and sends it in. It's a dangerous ball. Flicked off the head of Johnston last. Kept in play by Davis. No. The linesman raises the flag. Corner kick coming with 40 seconds to go. Some of the usual targets. Pat Roach not on the field right now as Roland comes across to take. There's all kinds of space at the top of the box here. Roland sends it towards the back post. Again, Willman able to claim. And he'll be happy to see the seconds tick down. His first half, his first ever first half for Trinity is a successful one. The Tigers take a 2-0 lead into the interval as Fraser Burns opened the scoring for Trinity in the 24th minute, and Jack Downs doubled the advantage on a penalty kick that was won by Michael Somerville in the 39th. 15 minutes on the clock. That'll count down until we get back underway in the second half in just a moment. Well, it was British brilliance in the first half for Trinity as Fraser Burns of Scotland and Jack Downs of England both found their way onto the score sheet to lead now 2-0 for Trinity here in San Antonio, Texas. We're back underway as Meese rolls it off for Joe Curry. Out wide for Jesus Falos now. Jack Eubank into the path of Meese, able to turn his defender and continue on. And the referee says he played advantage. And thus the whistle never came, although Meese certainly wanted the whistle. There was no advantage in the end. Check on the ball as somebody whispered in the ear of the referee that it might have been flat coming out of the break. Looks like the PSI is sufficient. The one change for Trinity from their starting 11. Jack Eubank keeps his place on the left wing and for Hunter Kane. Johnson misjudged that. Galan able to clean it up, send it down the field. Eubank nods it on. He's wrong side of the Crew back line. Good recovery defending, but Eubank still putting himself about. Eventually the Crew able to smuggle it clear as the ball goes into the Trinity fans, some of which the women's soccer team in attendance today. They'll be on the field tomorrow. 4:30 kickoff as they face Howard Payne. You can catch that one on the Tiger Network as well. Plenty of action in Trinity sports here on campus as volleyball hosting their tournament this weekend as well. Looking to go 2-0 on the day later today if you want to simulcast both events. That one's just about to get underway, if not already. As Trinity volleyball playing the gym, it's Trinity men's soccer controlling the flow of the game here at Paul McGinley Field. In control of the scoreboard as well. 2-0. Galan forward for Curry. He's chased back. And Blanc loses out to Roach. Roach now slipped in behind for Buchanan. Buchanan beyond Johnson. Rule comes across the cover as Buchanan drags his shot wide. In the first half, he had an early sighter for the Crew, which ended up being their only shot. Another effort that time for Ethan Buchanan. This one off target for the sophomore out of Killeen, Texas. Grabbed a couple goals last season off the bench, looking for his first here in 2021, making his 5th straight start. Looks like maybe a change in shape for the Crew. We'll see. No Harper Rowland out there at the moment. And it's Bleedmaster who's made the left side his home to start the second half. Ball into the feet of Meese. Holds it up. Lays it off for Burns and behind for Curry. And Curry draws the contact from Wooding. Free kick coming for the Tigers. Such an asset when you can just play the ball into your center forward. And you know he'll be able to hold it. You'll know he'll be able to find a teammate. Create space for other players. Dragging the center backs out. It's an all-around advantage. It especially helps when he's scored 4 goals and assisted 3 in now 4.5 games. Stop the clock here as, again, there was confusion about the match ball. Burns lines it up. Has the go-ahead goal as it stands. This time he'll look to serve it up for a teammate. Burns whips it towards the back post. Johnston beaten to it. The Crew launch it clear. Velos plucks it out of the sky. Tries to get Trinity going once again, but Eubank can't keep it. Now Neveloff allowed to turn. Lifted over the top for Buchanan. Buchanan up against J.C. Rule. J.C. Rule goes to ground, and Galan plays it back to him. It's great defending that time from the 2 San Antonio natives. But it results in a UMHB throw. To be taken by Villanueva. Has already shown he can get some distance behind the throw. So you see the players in purple and white make their way into the area. That one easy to defend for Rule. Back to Villanueva. Back into the box as Roach takes a shot on the turn. No power in it that time for Patrick Roach. Johnston. They're ahead of Roach. Sends it down the line. Meese concedes it to Wooding this time, but he's on it from the back pass. And strangely, the linesman put the flag up after Wooding had played it back to the goalkeeper, and Meese began to give chase. Bizarre. Who we play on as Rule wins the header for Trinity. Wide now for Eubank. Laid off for Veloz. Veloz, beautiful weight on the pass in behind for Curry, who again takes the contact. This time from Sawyer Young. This time from shooting range. Joe Curry finding the space in behind the Crew back line at the moment. Trinity really winning the midfield battle. That's where they were able to get a foothold in the game in the first half. And right now it's where they're creating opportunities. With 6 minutes gone in the second. Michael Pham, Fraser Burns, Brady Johnston, and Joe Curry all in conversation around the ball. Curry steps away. Pham in attendance as well. Comes the effort from Joe Curry. And it's just wide. You hear the fans fooled. And I think the referee was fooled as well, as he pointed towards the halfway line. Joe Curry himself, just watching his reaction, he knew it wasn't in, despite what it looked like. Good shape on the free kick. He goes close. Corner coming now for Burns. Curry offers the short option. 5 in maroon and white in the penalty area. Burns goes short for Veloz. Veloz back to Burns. Whipped in towards the near post and won't reach a teammate. But Pham finds the loose ball and fires it over the goal. Would have been great if he picked out the top corner, but really I think that shot designed just to let his team settle back into defensive shape. And by that standard, it was successful as Dalton Lloyd now sends the goal kick 10 yards or so beyond the halfway line. Roach gets a touch, but Curry's found the loose ball. Gets it back from Michael Meese, who's now working to get in the penalty area as Burns whips it across. Repelled by Sam Wooding. Goal line goes beyond Burns. Rolls it across the area. It's now with Jack Eubank on the far side. Jack Eubank passes defender. Rolls it across for Meese, who's on hand to finish once again. Great work from everybody involved in the attack for Trinity. And Michael Meese has his 5th goal in as many games in Tiger colors. It's been a revelation since making the transfer from William & Mary, the former Virginia High School Player of the Year. He's refound his goal-scoring form. He's refound his joy for playing the game. That's what he told me.
Goal for the Tigers by Michael Meese.
And he's helped Trinity feel comfortable at home this year, knowing they've got a goal scorer. An assister as well as he gets it back from Burns. But Wooding able to send it down the field. Pham got it back to Rule. Brought inside by Veloz. Here's Burns. Continues to cause problems no matter where he finds the ball. Eubanks found the ball. He fires it across again. Meese in the area. Couldn't get on the end of that one. The shots piling up now for Trinity. 14 shots, 4 on goal. Coach Bankhead going to make his first change of the half in response to the goal. As Rowland comes back into the game. Having started in the first half, he's replacing Jake Gilbert here, a sophomore from Belton, Texas. Plays for his hometown college. It'll be interesting to see where Rowland sets up as Meese looking to find the ball in the penalty area again. The bouncing ball is cleared away by the crew. Looks like maybe a position at center back for Rowland, the senior out of Rockwall. Go Jackets. Burns lifts it in behind for Curry. Curry fires it across. It's held by Lloyd. And Lloyd with the sidewinding punt to try and start a counterattack. Roach takes it off the chest of Neveloff. Here's Young. There's numbers in the attack for the first time, really, since the halftime break. As Pham goes to ground and wins it, but he leaves his teammate Fraser Burns on the ground. Curry picks it up from the blocked cross and runs out of room. Burns slow to his feet. He's now back up. And Burns goes down as Buchanan was about to run at him. And looks like Powell is hurrying himself to get into the game. That was a substitution in the first half. Will Powell onto the right wing for Fraser Burns. Powell, who looked sharp coming off the bench, showed his turn of pace in the first half. We'll get plenty more time to make an impact here from the bench. Rowland launches it down the line, intended for Roach. Buchanan gets ahead to it. And last touch was off Will Powell. Long throw coming for Harper Rowland. Spent many years behind myself in the long throw pecking order for Rockwell High School. Glad he finally gets his moment in the light with the ball in his hands. Launches this one in. Johnston first to it. Neveloff challenges for the second ball. And Pham puts it into space. There's runners in the attack for Trinity. Meese with the ball at his feet. Veloz to his right. Powell at the back post. Here's Michael Meese onto his right foot. Takes the shot. Deflects off Veloz on the way through. Goal kick coming for the crew. Trinity bench didn't realize that it hit their own player. They were very confused when the referee didn't point for a corner. UMHB at danger of falling below 500. Not for the first time this year, as they spent 2 of their non-conference games in Pennsylvania, battling some of the nation's best in William & Mary and Messiah. Free kick coming for Trinity. Notably today, without their starting center back, Hunter Shanks, who was a transfer from the D1 National Championship winners, Marshall. He played every minute of the first 3 games, came off against University of St. Thomas, presumably with an injury, as we now understand. Not dressed for today's game. Opened up space for Sam Wooding to come back into the lineup for the first time this year. Great. Now brings it into the attack with Powell to his right. Meese ahead of him. Ball now at the feet of Blanc. Sent wide for Eubank, who's got space. Puts a beautiful ball in just over the head of Will Powell. Needed a couple more inches to win the header there. Still all Trinity here, even without a couple of their usual starters out on the field. Burns has come off injured in the second half. Agi missing the game in its entirety. And the goalkeeper, Juan Carlos Fidelis, is out for today's game as well. Willman in his place has made a couple of saves. Done the job so far. Here's Roach. Gets it back to Villanueva. Villanueva drops the shoulder and now turns beyond J.C. Rule, but just 3 Trinity shirts around him. Couldn't keep possession. Great work on the far side there for the Crew. And now Buchanan has the ball at his feet in the area. Sends Rule to the turf. A Rule back defending. Still not cleared as Buchanan takes the shot on his left. Deflected wide for a corner. Huge opportunity for Ethan Buchanan. It's all set up by the run from Brody Conley on the right side. Should take a couple of Trinity defenders on to create the chance, which now results in a corner kick for the Crew. Need something quickly to get momentum back on their side here with 30 minutes to go in the game. See what Rowland can provide off the left foot. He goes short. Neveloff looking to turn. It's faced up by Pham. Another corner on the way. Rowland looks across to Coach Bankhead. Just calling the shots here from the set piece. Again, 2 hands raised, triggers the runs. They go to the top of the box. And the shot blocked as Pham's left down. It's back out with Rowland on the far side, whipped in towards Roach. Headed on by Wooding, but wide to the target. The Crew looking to get crafty from the corner kicks. No real threat to Willman's goal on that occasion. Willman hurried by the official. He was cognizant of some potential time wasting. As Rowland wins the header from the goal kick, but he's out of position now. As Powell has space. Galan goes beyond him. Here's the ball for Jacob Galan. Cuts it back from the inline, but Rowland goes to ground. Puts it out for a Trinity corner. Had to do the hard running there to get back. And everyone forward now in white and maroon with the exception of Jacob Galan. Everybody back in purple and white for the Crew. On hand defensively. Eubank into the danger area. Headed clear by Villanueva. Sent down the field by Young. Pham in a foot race here with Buchanan. He gets there first. Buchanan comes away with the ball. And Powell commits the foul. Thought maybe he got in front. UMHB go quickly here with Neveloff. Neveloff arcs one into the box. Rule heads clears. Willman was coming out. Maybe a miscommunication there between the 2 Trinity juniors. Villanueva back to the top of the box for Young. It's opposite number 8, Joe Curry, putting the pressure on, but he's got it back to Villanueva. Rolls one in low. Nobody read the cue card there for the Crew. Powell gets there first ahead of Buchanan, who's looking labored now, looking tired. He's had the best of the Crew's opportunities in this game. Shot on target in the first half, a shot, and he dragged wide in the second. Trinity, who had 61% of the ball in the first half, have continued that trend. They've had a majority of possession, and now up to 16 shots in total, 5 on target in the game. Dalton Lloyd calls for the run from Buchanan, but Galan's there first. Pham able to bring it down with his first touch. He's now found some space in the center circle, but he really overhits the pass that time. And now Buchanan, who I mentioned was looking tired, is now replaced by Ethan Dacret. First year from Austin, Texas. Will be eager to try and make an impact here, as he did in the Crew season opener. Here's Dacret. Spread wide for Villanueva. Forward for Roach, who helps it on. Neveloff in the area, but Johnston launches it downfield. Meese holds off the defender, then runs into a second. As Conley dribbles it clear, it's now launched in behind for Bleemaster to chase. Bleemaster got the ball in. Nobody on the end of it in purple. Here's Neveloff now. Can't lift it over the head of Johnston. He's got it back now on the near side, poked out by Blanc. 20 minutes gone here in the second half. Trinity adding to 2 goals in the first 45. As Meese got his customary goal coming out of the interval. Trinity control it from the long throw. Powell sends it onto the thigh of Meese, who is fouled by Kennedy, the senior from Waxahachie. Trinity wanted to go quickly. Burns set to come back in for the Tigers. It's Johnston wide for Galan, who's got time. In the midfield for Curry. Wide again for Powell. Can't connect that time with Galan, but Galan's quickest, and he gets it in behind now for Meese. Good work that time from Wooding coming across. See the explosiveness of Jacob Galan. Pass way behind him, and yet he's still able to track it down. Nearly creating the opportunity for Meese. Burns onto the left now as he replaces Eubank. Trinity throw coming from Powell. And for Meese. Meese called for the foul there as he had a hold of the opposition's jersey for a change. Usually the other way around so far in this game. Lloyd rolls it out to Neveloff. He's dropped pretty deep here to find the ball. See if he can orchestrate from midfield. Tussle on the far side as the Crew are forced back. Curry gets his body in the way. Gets possession back for Trinity. Pham exchanges it with Burns. It's behind Villanueva here. Now down the line for Meese. Just get it back for Burns. This combination's already worked once as Burns sits his defender down. Sees the shot blocked at the near post. Connection between Meese and Burns. It's really paid dividends today. It's both of them on the score sheet. Meese assisting Fraser Burns' opening goal today. And whether he's been coming off the left or right, Burns has looked shifty, he's looked dangerous anytime he's had the ball. As Curry Gets it back from Pham. Here's Joe Curry now driving at the back line. Lays it off for Powell in space at the top of the box. Powell can't turn past Young, but Pham takes the shot. Tipped over by Lloyd. Really important save there for the junior goalkeeper. Another corner coming for the Tigers. Burns and Curry, as we've come to expect, who take this one short, rolled back to Burns. Turns past Neveloff, takes a left-footed cross, blocked. And another corner's on the way. 6th of the game for the Tigers, now equaling their opposition on the evening. Burns sets up to whip this one in, and he does, towards the near post. Roach helps it on, only as far as Blanc, who lifts it back in for Powell. Powell offside, or maybe Meese. In any case, the header was into the arms of Lloyd. UMHP were looking to make changes, but they play on quickly from the goal kick. Young down the line, held up by Roach. Sawyer Young's got it back. Neveloff wants it cut back as Roach gets back into the penalty area. Another corner coming for UMHB, who've had plenty, yet to make anything of them. And they'll wait on the 3 changes. Trinity will respond with one of their own. Kyle Davis up and ready. Rolling across to take it again as we tick down towards 20 minutes remaining. Trinity looking to move to 5-0 on the year. Ranked number 12 in the national standings. They defend a 3-0 lead now as Roland overhits that one all the way through. Goal kick coming for the Tigers. Subs coming in for both teams.
In for Mary Hardin-Baylor, number 18,
As
Ramiro
Peden,
Moreno.
Travis, and Moreno come back in.
Number 24, Ryan Travis. In for Trinity, number 13, Kyle Davis.
And Davis will replace Pham. Galan immediately in conversation with Davis, just about making the smart plays, not giving the crew any foothold back into this game. Crazy things have happened between these two teams on this very field. Although the last time they met, this was the final score, 3-0 in favor of Trinity in the round of 32. But now it's the Tigers looking to add to it. Burns cuts inside his defender, lifts one into the box for Curry. Cleared away ahead of the Tigers sophomore. But Davis regains possession. Powell turns his defender. Now Will Powell again sits another player down. Eventually the crew able to clear. Dacret brought down by Davis. Maybe not heeding his captain's words, but also not picking up a booking. So in the end, that's not a bad tackle to make to stop the counter, if you can avoid picking up the yellow card. Here's Dacret with Blanc on his back. Blanc creates just enough separation to get it to Powell. Blanc whistled for the foul on Roland, as there were a couple slide tackles there in succession from either team. The crew take it quickly, and the referee's not going to be happy about that. He was still a sentence or two away from finishing his monologue. And the actors will have to retake their positions here. Neveloff sets up to take the free kick. Curry's too close to him, and he gets it over the top of Joe Curry. J.C. Rule hooks it clear. Neveloff brings it out of the sky. think about a shot from here, but Curry's on his case. And Joe Curry comes away with the ball, and teammates in the attack. Meese is the furthest forward for Trinity. It's with Davis now on the far side. He runs into Wooding that time, is too strong in the challenge. Sends it down the line. JC Rule's first to it, puts it out into touch for a throw. Neat flick in behind, looking for the run of Conley. It's back now at the feet of Burns. Davis slipped in by JC Rule. Sees the goalkeeper off his line. Doesn't get enough elevation on the shot. In the end, all he did was present possession back to the Crew with their goalkeeper, Dalton Lloyd. We got a warm reception from Coach McGinley, clearly friendly with the Flower Mound native before the game today. Willman can't find a teammate with the pass. It's wide now with Valadez. Lifted into the box. Forward to Carrot, headed clear by Rule. Launched further down the field by Johnston, but now Wooding. He's got momentum going into the attack. He drops it off for Peeting. Johnston scuffs his clearance now. Neville off from just about 20 yards. Can't keep the shot on frame. Jack Downs now into the game for Blanc, who's looked assured in midfield, usually a center back. Very much in the Dutch model of playing, comfortable in multiple positions, particularly in a 4-3-3, as Trinity have employed this year. So it'll be interesting to see who sets up as the deepest of the Trinity midfielders. None of these three have played in that holding number 6 role. Looks like Davis, with Curry and Downs ahead of him. Burns coming off the left. Powell off the right. Meese leading the line. He's got the third Trinity goal. He's got the ball back here. As he picks himself up, slips it in behind for Powell, laid across for Burns. First touch popped up. He juggles it back to himself and can't provide the finishing touch. Trinity really making a mess of what should have been the 4th goal there. Powell looking to be unselfish there. He might rue the missed opportunity to get his first collegiate goal. Looks like Davis was shown yellow for the challenge. Has left, I believe, Ryan Travis on the ground. He'll be looked at by the medical staff as the two teams take on some fluids and tactical instruction from their coaches. I'll be right back in just a moment. You're watching Trinity Men's Soccer on the Tiger Network.
Number 74, Bodie Bleemaster.
So Bodie Bleemaster will replace the injured Ryan Travis. He's being looked at on the training table down to my left now. The Crew get us back going with the long ball sent into the area by Dalton Lloyd, headed clear by Johnston, who stayed down here. Meese looking to hold it up for the Tigers. Lays it off for Burns. Can't get past a couple of Crew players. Johnston back on his feet, ready to defend, but he won't have to as it's sent all the way through to Austin Willman in the Trinity net. 14 minutes to play. Trinity without a few first-choice players have looked really assured in their latest test. Still require a closing act here. As Willman's long ball intercepted by Nevelov, who immediately losing his footing. And Curry puts it in behind for Meese to chase. Flag stays down. Meese towards the back post for Powell, who's inches away. Not for the first time from adding a Trinity fourth. Crew goes short here. Sawyer Young picks it up. True freshman out of Plano, Texas, has found a home in the starting 11 for the Crew, making all 5 starts now on the year. Johnston lays it off for Gallant. Spreads the play with J.C. Rule. Here's Curry back in the Trinity half. Ball at the feet of former All-American Brady Johnston, the elder statesman in the Trinity team. He was there for both NCAA face-offs with the Crew in 2017 and 2018. It's Meese making life difficult again for the Crew back line, winning another corner. Goals coming in the 24th minute for Fraser Burns, the 39th for Jack Downs, and the 53rd for Michael Meese, the reigning SCAC Offensive Player of the Week. He's been at it again, scoring and assisting tonight. Burns preparing the corner. Steps into it, drives it towards the near post. Johnston had made a run towards that area. It's repelled by the Crew. Downs takes a loose touch and wrestles Nevelov to the ground. Crew get going here with Bleemaster in midfield. Wide for Conley. 2 number 26s going at it here as Conley gets beyond Powell, but not Gallant. Last touch off Jacob Gallant, out for a Crew throw. And Rowland will come up from the back to take. 3 starters set to come back in for the Crew. Buchanan, Roach, Villanueva, and Abshir in for the Crew. Looks like Villanueva might get to play a little bit further forward here. But first he'll come across to take the throw as Rowland was amongst those subbed off. A last push for Coach Bankhead and the Crew. They need one quickly. And they'll look for it right away here from the throw. Flip throw from Villanueva. It's into a really dangerous area. Nobody there for the finishing touch in purple. First time we've seen the flip throw for the senior, Nick Villanueva. This one put into the box, headed clear by Gallant. Trinity backline has just been so resolute in the air. And again there on the ground for Johnston, who limps away from the challenge again. It's been a physical battle up front that for the most part Trinity have won. Johnston still struggling, just out of your picture. We've got Peter Blanc on the bench as well as first-year Jake Baker. His options at center back. It's now the first choice Crew striker and Patrick Roach up against Johnston, his opposite number 14. This Rule gets to the ball first, sends it down the line for Trinity. Jack Downs off for Simon. He's into the game for Powell. Curry breezes past his man, lays it off for Burns. Burns will come onto his right foot, send it towards the back post, and just needed a bit more whip to find his second goal of the night. And it will be Blanc in for Johnston. Coach McGinley opts for the experience coming off the bench. Blanc started this game in midfield. And he'll drop back into his more familiar center back role to see out the result. Pass off the mark intended for Buchanan. Recovered by Joe Curry. Dropped off for Willman. He's had a real scarcity of touches here, even in the second half. It looks like Roland's still out there in a big way as he wins the header over Gallant. Meese lays it at the feet of Downs. He's got Burns to his left, 2 to his right. Here is Fraser Burns. As 2 Crew defenders come to meet him, he steps past one. He's got the other on his back. Fraser Burns, devoid of options, finds Jack Downs in a pocket of space, who will launch a shot over the bar. It's those two who struck in the first half to give Trinity a comfortable advantage at the break. Meese found the third in the 53rd minute and is now replaced by Philip Dueñez. His work is done. Another goal and another assist for Michael Meese, who continues to impress for Trinity. Lloyd hits the goal kick. Davis onto it. Tough tackle from Roland says the official. A full-blooded challenge, you might call it. Buchanan past Curry, not past Rule, who blocks his shot. Roland beats Davis to it. Buchanan is in the area as Villanueva now comes forward down the left, runs into Blanc. Simon, strong tackle, putting it out for a Crew throw. Going to be another long throw option for the Crew as Brody Conley comes across to take, and Villanueva and Roland go in to the box. Looks like it's a corner. Makes a little more sense. Really turning into desperate moments for UMHB. They need one, and they need one quick as it's whipped in towards Villanueva. Can't get ahead to it. The Crew retain possession here with Buchanan. And towards the back post, Villanueva's found space. He'll take it on the right foot. Couldn't get it on target from a very difficult angle, prohibitive angle. So we approach now 5 minutes to go. Trinity look all but assured to move to 5-0 on the season. This game much more reminiscent of the 2018 matchup between these two teams, where the Tigers controlled throughout and even won by this same scoreline, 3-0. Rather than the previous year, in which it was a frenzy of goals, 5 of them in the first half. The Crew got 3 of the 5 and won the game 3-2. Galan lifts it forward for Dueñez, who holds the defender off. He's got it back here, Phil Dueñez. Ball spread wide by Abshir. Too far ahead of his teammate, and Willman will track this down, dribble it back into the box, and pick it up once he's finally put under pressure by Patrick Roach. He's had to feed on scraps in this game. He's only got 1 goal so far this season. Villanueva very acrobatically jumps all the way over the top of Jacob Gallant and goes into a handstand. You might want that one for a gymnastics reel later. As Dueña is now working in the opposite end. Bumped off the ball by Conley. Winning a corner according to the referee. Trinity continue just to take the air out of the game. Burns and Curry across to take, this time one from the near side. I think for the first time in the half. It's been pretty much exclusively from the far corner. Velos is checked here. The Crew see him, and Burns will whip it into the area. Looking for Blanc, who wins the initial header and the second. And he's called, I think, for clearing out the space with his arms. The Crew look to go quickly. Buchanan is the only one in the attack. It's Rule who helps it back towards Willman. Miscommunication here, but Willman got there in time. Now Buchanan looking for Roach, can't find him. And runs into JC Rule and takes the last touch before it goes out of play. Crew now looking for what would likely be a consolation goal. Might be in some style if Villanueva comes across to take the foot throw in. Rolling the last to join in the attack. Forward from the Crew's back line. It'll be an aerial threat. As this time Villanueva just launches it in the traditional manner. Rule heads clear. Buchanan juggling it at the edge of the area, but Downs eventually puts it out, cannoning off the Isom Memorial here at Paul McGinley Field. Throw in taken quickly. Villanueva's cross blocked. And Downs picks the pocket of the Crew, and now Dueñas goes the other way. The keeper way off his line. Actually got it right in the end. Dalton Lloyd, albeit in an unconventional way. With the Crew chasing the game, not much to lose for the junior goalkeeper. He's way off his line there. Buchanan continuing to battle. The Trinity backline continuing to hold firm. Flicked wide by Roach. Let's get it back to him. Blanc makes the intervention. And the Tigers have a throw here with 1:20 to go. It's been a hard-fought battle between two teams who have exchanged blows over recent seasons. At the moment, Trinity at the back of Michael Meese leading the line. Look very strong, and Concordia, who will come to town on Sunday, will have to be wary of the continued threat that he'll pose, as well as the supporting cast, who have looked all right today, to say the least. Burns opening the scoring in the 24th minute. Downs doubled the lead in the 39th. Meese himself getting his goal 7 minutes after halftime. Trinity content to let the clock tick down here. They'll maybe send one more ball into the box. And they instead go short. Ball with Jack Downs in the corner. Jack Downs gets to the end line, sends one in. Davis will track it down, and the final seconds will tick off the clock. Trinity move to 5-0.
4, 3, 2.
Continue their unbeaten start to the season as they hold their home field against UMHB.
Final score is Trinity 3, Hardin-Baylor 0. Scoring for the Tigers were Frazier Burns. Jack Downs.
Next up for the Crew, they'll open their
Credit assist to
ASC schedule at East Texas Baptist on the 23rd. We wish the Crew the best of luck moving forward this season. For Trinity, as I mentioned, we'll be back here on Sunday as the Tigers face off against Concordia at 6 p.m. And between then and now, we'll have the Tiger women's soccer team up against Howard Payne. 4:30 tomorrow. Catch that one as well on the Tiger Network. For now, though, maybe tune into the volleyball game going on right now in Calgard Gymnasium. My name is Ryan Figert. It's been a pleasure to describe the action as Trinity once again get the win, this time 3-0 over the Crusaders of UMHB.